Orioles, but the home run bats of the Red Sox quieted that crowd as they would come away with a 7-2 win. The Orioles struggled against Stephen Wright, the knuckleballer, finally getting to him in just one inning, the fifth, when they scored a couple of runs. This, however, will be a different pitcher and a different ball game. Game 2 of the 4-game set right now. It's the Orioles on Masson, and Game 2 here at Camden Yards tonight as the Red Sox in town for the 4-game set. Won the opener 7-2 last night. And tonight we open in the brand new Oriole Garden. This is part of the National Wildlife Federation's Grow Together Baltimore program. This garden was just opened last week. A lot of new plants, flowers, shrubs have been put in. Benches where folks can sit and enjoy themselves before, during, and after the game. It is just outside of the ballpark. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. A beautiful new site here. This is really going to be enjoyed by fans over the years, and a great program to bring native plants to the ballpark. You'll be able to see it when you come to Camden Yards. You'll also have a chance, if you get here in the next couple of days, to see these two teams who have had a very offensive first 4 games. Take a look at the numbers. That's what these teams have done so far. You look at those ERAs. The pitchers have not been able to do much in the 4 games played, and the offenses have really pounded out some runs. The teams are tied at 2-2 in the first 4 of 19 they'll play. And Mike Bordick, at least for these games, it's about offense.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's really the Red Sox offense that has caught fire. Matt Wieters very hot for the Orioles. Jonathan Scope, but 1 through 9 for this Red Sox offense have caught fire. They had a very slow start to the year. But boy, when this offense started picking up, Bogarts, Betts at the top of the lineup, Jackie Bradley Jr., 29-game hitting streak, and David Ortiz going out a swan song year, putting up numbers that matched him 10 years ago. So pretty impressive offensive output. And the Orioles really have to step up their pitching and play solid defense.
You got to believe Ortiz may want to rethink retiring.
You're right. I mean, you're right.
He's having one of the best years of his life here, this final year of his career.
Yeah, pretty impressive. And I think a lot of the younger players are really feeding off that energy.
All right, we'll see what happens tonight. The knuckleballer will not be on the mound. The Oriole hitters will enjoy that, we hope. Back for Game 2 in just a minute. Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. And back here at Camden Yards, a beautiful early summer evening. It'll be 84 degrees to start our ball game. And here's the lineup for the Red Sox. It'll be Betts, Pedroia, and Bogarts, Ortiz, Ramirez, who did not play last night, Shaw, Young, Swihart, and Vasquez. David Ortiz now in a 7-game hit streak and lots of extra base hits involved.
And let's take a look at Kevin Gausman's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball, always a great heater, 66% of the time, really driving it downhill. Although the last start he did give up 3 home runs, so concentrate on location. A real good slider that's coming along, and of course the devastating change-up. 7 starts this year, 3.24 earned run average. It's up to a very good start, but hasn't been able to pick up a win this year. A lot of that due to the lack of the Orioles' run support. The offense kind of floundering behind him. 3 runs per game. This offense supports Kevin Gausman. Orioles offense hoping to get it going tonight, as Gausman has pitched pretty well here the early part of the season. I think a win under his belt might get him on a nice roll.
So he is ready to go. A note tonight, Jackie Bradley Jr., their outstanding center fielder, has gone on paternity leave effective today. So he is not here, not playing. And Rusney Castillo, the outfielder, was recalled from AAA for John Farrell's ball club. That is no minor matter, because Bradley really is picking up the pace with the bat. He's had an outstanding start to the year and was important with his 9th home run in the ball game last night. So he is not here. And Pena is up with the Orioles. We send our best wishes out to Caleb Joseph, who took that shot in the groin on a foul ball game last night. He has gone on the 15-day DL. So the Orioles have moved to bring Pena up, as they did not want to go without a backup catcher for any length of time.
Yeah, tough break for Caleb Joseph. An incredible game last night. Made highlight film a few times on some great plays, fielding some jam shots out in front of home plate. Picked up a nice hit. Thinking about him for sure.
Underway, and the pitch by Gausman will be outside, and Betts leading it off. Mookie Betts, 3-game hit streak, continued it with a 2 for 5 in the ball game last night. He is 2 for 9 lifetime off Kevin Gausman. Ball drilled in the air to center field. Jones is just going to look. Do you believe this? Goodbye home run. Mookie Betts on the 2nd pitch on a 1-0 count delivers a leadoff homer.
This team is aggressive offensively. They don't let anything pass. It doesn't look good, and they have been putting some A swings on. This Red Sox offense leading in just about every offensive category here. Betts going down and getting this fastball, hunting the heater and getting it early, depositing it out in the Orioles bullpen.
So a 1-0 lead on the first batter faced. Here's Pedroia, who will take the pitch for a strike. And just what you were talking about, Mike, for Kevin Gausman, that's home run number 7. He has given up this season, 6 of them hit by right-handers. And the pitch taken away, Pedroia. Pedroia is also on a streak. He had a 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. He has now hit successfully in 7, going 12 for 30, 6 RBIs, 6 runs during the streak. That one in the air to left field, back at the wall. Goodbye home run. Back-to-back home runs by Betts and Pedroia off Gausman, and the Red Sox have a 2-0 lead.
Wow, they are getting on the fastball early here. Time to start mixing in some breaking balls and change-ups. Yeah, you get a hot hitting team, the confidence just overflowing. They're getting fastballs and not missing. Yesterday, only a few mistakes made. Didn't take many, and they won that ball game. Here, fastball in the inside corner. Pedroia has been doing it his whole career. Very aggressive hitter. Gets on a heater as well.
So 2 home runs, back-to-back homers for the Red Sox. The 10th for Betts, the 7th for Pedroia, and a quick 2-0 lead in this ball game. For Mookie Betts, his second home run in this ballpark. Pedroia gets his 7th. And the pitch will be taken down low by Bogaerts. And for Buck Showalter, John Russell, his bench coach, you just kind of stare out a little bit. Not much you can do except hope that Gausman can settle in right now. 2-0 delivery on the way. That's an inside-out squibbler to second. Lots of spin. Jonathan Scope makes the nice play, and Bogaerts is out of there.
Wow. Well, have the first 2 batters beating the Orioles shift. Take a look at this Orioles defense. Reinhold, Jones, and Rickard in the O's outfield. Machado and Scope, the double play combination. Paul Janisch getting the start at third base. Chris Davis over at first, and Matt Wieters doing the catching tonight. Good pitch there from Gausman, riding a fastball up and in to Bogaerts. Actually, the Red Sox hottest hitter.
David Ortiz, the DH. Ortiz will take it outside for a ball. David has been on a real tear. He's had at least 1 extra base hit in 7 straight games. Ortiz has a 7-game hit streak and was going for the long ball right there. Had 1 of 3 home runs that were hit last night by the Red Sox against the Orioles. So that's 5 home runs in a game and a third of an inning here in this 4-game set. The Ortiz, big numbers against the Orioles, and a ground ball foul outside of first.
A good fastball there from Gausman. You see the velocity maybe just because of the frustration with a couple home runs. 97 on that fastball, located very well down in the zone.
He has homered in 3 straight games now, and if he gets another one, he'd match his career home run streak of 4 consecutive ball games. That one down the line in left field. Orioles playing the other way, and it'll be handled in a tough chance. Manny Machado really was out in left field when he hauled that one in.
Yeah, Manny, of course, in the shift. Reinhold pulled over as well, and boy, that ball was up there a long time, and for a while it didn't look like anybody really wanted it. Noel Reinhold waiting on Manny Machado, who can cover some ground out there. Nice job getting the second out.
Boy, that's a good play and a tough one. That'll bring Hanley Ramirez up. Ramirez just had a night off last night. See the numbers put up on the season: 4 home runs, 31 RBIs. Ramirez 1 for 11 against the Orioles this season. In this, the 5th game these teams have played. 2 down, nobody on, and the pitch will be taken down low. Gausman trying to get out of this here in the 1st inning. Kevin with a couple of long balls to start the game by Betts and Pedroia. He gave up 3 home runs, Mike mentioned, in that last outing against Houston. That's a career high 3 in that game. The second time he done that, and he's already given up 2 here in the 1st inning of this ball game.
I think early in a ball game, an offense, an aggressive offense like the Red Sox, then they know Kevin Gausman's trying to establish his fastball. Nothing really to get them off balance, break their timing and rhythm up.
That one will bounce off the plate, and the count will go to 3-0 on Ramirez. Ramirez started 47 of 51 games played this season coming into tonight. First season, of course, playing at first base. He'd been a long-time shortstop. 3-0 delivery to him, and that is there for a strike. Take a look at our Express Care stat. Express Care, LifeBridge Health partner. For locations, visit whywaitintheer.com.
Yeah, home runs coming back to haunt the O's. Highest home runs allowed since May 22nd. Orioles leading the way, nearing 2, 1.88 per game. Gausman gave up 3 in his last start. Of course, Wilson's run into some long ball troubles here recently, and Chris Tillman as well. Now this team had been on a nice little roll, keeping the ball in the yard. Actually, they may still be leading today with fewest home runs given up by a rotation in the American League, but they've gotten in a cold spell here.
3-2. That is a fair ball. Play will be made by Wieters, and Ramirez is retired. So retires 3 in a row after Betts and Pedroia led the ball game off with home runs. The Orioles lineup when we come back. Early lead 2-0, and the Orioles lineup brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Jones, Reimold, and Machado, Davis, Trumbo, and Wieters, Scope, Rickert, and Yanish against the left-hander. Last 13, Matt has had a hot bat.
Yeah, let's take a look at Eduardo Rodriguez's pitch arsenal this season. Well, it's reflecting back to last year because this is his first start of 2016. Dislocated his right kneecap and had to rehab his way back. But a good fastball 71% of the time. Works it in the low to mid 90s. A slider that the right-handers will see. And the changeup.
This, of course, a former Oriole who the team and organization was very high on. He was acquired in the July 2014 trade that sent Andrew Miller over as the Orioles made a run for the roses. Now Rodriguez back to make a start. His first appearance since September 28th of 2015 at the major league level. And the pitch will be taken up high. Adam Jones leading it off. Adam had an 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. Adam, Reimold, Manny Machado in the top of the order. Left-hander's delivery will be foul back. And you talk about working from a side of the slab. How about where he starts?
Yeah, he's moved way over this year on the third base side of the rubber, just to try to get a little bit of an angle on the right-handed hitters.
Just barely touching. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Jones, and that'll be looped down the line. Should be a base hit. It'll fall in. Betts over to cut it off. Does. Good play by Betts. Good hit by Jones. The Orioles get the leadoff man on.
How about that? Adam Jones starting to get comfortable at the top of the order now. Buck Showalter inserting him in there, and look at this piece of hitting. Nasty pitch down and away. Adam Jones using the legs. Let him get down in the legs, keeping the bat head through the zone as long as possible, and actually finds a real good part of the bat. Ball jumped out there, almost making it to the wall.
So leadoff man on. Reimold batting second with a 3-game hit streak. Adam Jones held by Ramirez. Pitch to him inside. Why would you move Reimold up? Well, he does have a 3-game hit streak. He is 2 for 7 against this particular left-hander, and he's hitting .290 off lefties. Those are numbers the skipper, Buck Showalter, takes a look at, and he's putting a lineup together. Plus, Reimold's got as much patience, perhaps the most, of any hitter in the Orioles roster.
Oh yeah, always had an incredible on-base percentage. I'll tell you what, Reimold has been playing good all the way around. Defensively, he's coming down with some great plays wherever Buck puts him in the outfield, and offensively as consistent as I've seen him.
2-0 delivery to him in the air to center. Chris Young is playing out there with Jackie Bradley Jr. gone, and he will put it away.
Let's take a look at this Red Sox defense minus Jackie Bradley Jr., Swihart, Young, and Betts in the Red Sox outfield. Young superstar Bogarts at shortstop with the veteran Pedroia at second base. Shaw back over at third base, and Ramirez slides back in at first. Vasquez doing the catching tonight, finally getting their young star back behind the plate, recovering from Tommy John surgery. Been back in their lineup for about a month now. They're happy to get him back.
Brian Hannigan was going to start both of these first 2 games of the series when the Red Sox came to Baltimore. Then last night he caught the knuckleball.
Ooh.
So he's resting. And the pitch, a strike on the inside corner. Manny Machado had an 0 for 4 in his 500th major league game. 211 extra base hits. It's the most for any Oriole through 500 career games all time, going back to the Orioles' arrival here in 1954. 0-1 delivery started. They'll check. Did not go around on it. A breaking ball by Rodriguez.
And look at his slider right there, trying to get it on the back foot of Manny Machado.
The Orioles against lefties, 6 wins and 5 losses when a left-handed starter's on the mound. That's tied for 3rd best percentage in the American League. 1-1 delivery on the way. That'll get away. And down to second base will go Adam Jones. Vasquez pounds the glove, thinking he should have been able to handle that. It'll be a pass ball.
Well, Vasquez setting up away, and this ball actually kind of cuts in. Was catching Manny Machado on the knee, but man, gets it off the thumb, kicks away. Jones out in scoring position.
Orioles 2 for 6 in the ball game yesterday in these situations. Rodriguez with Pedroia holding the runner, and that one in the air to left field, but just missed. It'll be handled. Swihart comes over to get it, and Manny Machado is retired. A little out in front of it. All right, PNC inside the numbers.
Yeah, Eduardo Rodriguez finding his form last season. You see the split from 2015. His first 14 starts had 6 wins, but look at the earned run average, 4.83. His last 7 settled in, figured out how to locate his fastball. 4 wins, earned run average dropping well over half to 2.08. Great command with his heater, and actually all 3 of his offerings. His walk rate under 3. Pretty impressive stuff for the young left-hander.
2 down now with a runner at second base. Chris Davis 0 for 4 last night. He is 1 for 8 against the left-hander. Adam Jones, the base runner. For Rodriguez, lifetime against his former organization, he is 0-2 overall. With Jones out there, Vasquez is going to come out and chat probably about the signs here that they are using. Told you the Orioles number 6 and 5 off left-handed starters, but the Orioles average against lefties is only 225, and that is well below the 249 American League average against left-handers overall. So the Orioles have a distinct difference in their average lefty righties. Right-handers, they hit 266, lefties 225.
Yeah, there's a little concern there, of course, but not a lot of lefties out there, it doesn't seem. I think every team looking for left-handed starters or lefties in the bullpen.
They are a very valuable commodity around Major League Baseball. Davis is 1 for 8 off Rodriguez. Fouls that one back, and the count will go to 0-2. Chris hitting 208 off left-handers, 2 home runs, 233 off righties with 8 home runs.
Last year Davis tore lefties up. I mean, he was all over them. Another monster offensive year. But I think facing lefties maybe a little bit more might help Davis get back into a hot streak. If you want to have success off a lefty, left on left, you better keep that front side in there.
He hit 268 last year off left-handers and had 10 home runs off them. So you're right, he put up good numbers off southpaws. Chris here with a 1-ball 2-strike count. Jones at second. Orioles trying to get a run in. The Orioles 4th as a team with runners in scoring position, hitting 273. Bogart's right behind Jones, the runner. Pops that one up back, and that 2 will be out of play. It stays at a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, you see how aggressive here Rodriguez is with his heater. Able to locate it down and in there to Chris Davis. Really, at times can get him in trouble because he just uses it so much. Secondary pitches not quite as sharp, but that fastball is a plus heater. Haven't seen the velocity get up to 95, 96 yet, but last year he did it up there.
1-2 delivery, and he got him on an 85-mile-an-hour pitch. So the strikeout recorded by Rodriguez. No runs, 1 hit. Base runner left on. Red Sox up. Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. We open our Major League Notebook to our East Winds page. Toronto's won 8 of their last 11. Starters 5-2, 3.32 ERA. That's good. Yankees, they've lost 4 of 6. A 169 batting average and 18 runs scored. And even in the 2 games they won, they only had a combined 5 hits. The Rays, they have lost 8 of 10. Their bullpen is struggling. And they had hit 43 home runs in the month of May, but only 3 runs scored in the last 2 games. Tampa Bay comes into today's play second in the league in homers. Who'd have thought?
Right? Yeah, they're getting their homers, but what they've had, most of their success on pitching kind of letting them down right now in the bullpen.
Shift is on. Travis Shaw. Gosman's delivery inside to him. Shaw, their third baseman, at an 0 for 4. Shaw played at first for the 10th time last night, while Ramirez got a day off. 1-0 delivery. It tells you how solid the depth is on this Red Sox team when you make the kind of moves they do. You got Shaw going from first to third. You keep a big bat in the lineup. Hernandez isn't even playing in the game, and you still wallop the 3 home runs and score 7. That'll be played by Rickard, and Shaw is retired. The Orioles and these Red Sox continue the 4-game series. Night games tomorrow and Thursday, 7:05. Hope you'll get your tickets for this great matchup. You can get them at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
Yeah, this is a pretty versatile crew, this Red Sox team. The scouting and draft department, targeted a lot of athletic players that they could use, move around the field. Betts was a second baseman, moved to the outfield. Swihart, catcher, is now into the outfield. Yeah, and Shaw's shown his versatility as well.
1 down. Gosman's delivery low, and here is Young. Chris Young, veteran, getting the start in center. He has a 3-game hit streak going. 3 for his last 11. Pitch by Gosman is going to be inside. He has appeared now in 30 games this season. This is the first start of the year in center. 14 in left and 1 in right prior to tonight. Gosman trying to work him in, but can't find the corner, and the count goes to 3-0. Now the Orioles will shift the infield, playing him to pull on this count.
Well, if you get a green light 3-0, you better get the head out.
He wasn't. Taking all the way, and a 3-ball 1-strike count. Young closing in on one of those milestone numbers. 7 hits shy of 1,000. 3-1 delivery, not close to his back foot, and he's on with a walk.
Driving it in there, starting to get the Red Sox to move their feet a little bit. That'll get them off the fastball.
Yeah. First walk surrendered by Kevin. That'll bring Swihart up, switch hitter. Had a big ball game, went 3 for 4 in the game last night. Swihart was on. He was hitting the ball hard. In left field this season, he is now 6 for 12 this year against the Orioles. Runner at first, 1 down, goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Our Coons.com league leaderboard brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
Well, the bottom of the order for the Red Sox, really helping the cause, leading the way, hitting .272. Royals doing pretty good damage as well. You saw the Orioles on that list, .258. Of course, the Red Sox at the beginning of the year, Jackie Bradley Jr. was hitting 7, 8, and 9 hole.
Yeah.
And
running off just 29 games.
Yeah, just recently they moved him up to the top of the lineup. And they have some other weapons. Swihart, switch hitter down there, hitting very well. Flipping out the 3 hits last night. Shaw's hit down at the bottom as well.
Kevin Gosman, the 0-2, had him. Foul tipped into the mitt. Kevin will get his first strikeout. 2 down.
Good pitch there. A lot of life with Kevin Gosman's fastball when it's at the top of the zone. Look at it run away. Holding a great velocity, 95. Nothing on the white through that at bat. Starting to work the edges. A good sign for Gosman.
Christian Vasquez doing the catching, batting 9th. He's got a 4-game hit streak coming into the ball game. Did not play in the game last night. He started 28 of the 44 since coming off the DL. He was on the DL until the 15th of April, so really working his way back into game shape. 5 for his last 15 at the plate.
A good young catcher. They love his defense behind the plate. Strong arm.
Pretty good lead at first for Chris Young, who drew the walk. 1-0 delivery breaking ball that will be down low. Interesting matchup tonight. Kevin Gausman, of course, the end of the 2013 season, the Orioles' #2 ranked prospect. Kevin Gausman, their #3 ranked prospect, Eduardo Rodriguez, same year. And now on opposing sides facing each other. 2-0 count, 2 down.
Well, in the baseball business, you really will drive yourself crazy if you look back, and start questioning some moves. But the Orioles at that time, of course, landing Miller was a huge pickup.
I don't see how you could argue against that deal.
Absolutely not. You get a chance to make it in the postseason.
Yeah, you go. And he helped. I mean, he was a big plus for the Orioles.
Oh my, down the stretch.
Not as far as they wanted to go, but boy, he was there. You make a deal for Andrew Miller, and you knew you were giving up a good pitcher. I mean, they knew it, but you got to give to get.
Yep.
And you got one of the best bullpen pitchers and a left-hander to boot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was pretty good. That three-headed monster the Orioles had with Miller and O'Day and Britton.
3-0, and that is going to be there for a strike. Vasquez, 3-ball, 1 strike count on him. Checking with third base coaches Young over there at first. The Red Sox, winners of 2 in a row. The Orioles have lost 6 out of the last 8 now. Runner not going, and there's another walk. So 2 base on balls here in the inning will turn the order over for Betts.
And that's really the importance of a strong 7, 8, 9. Flip the lineup over 1 or 2 more times. See Kevin Gausman's opponent batting average. A situation this year, bases empty, 268, but with runners on, runners in scoring position with 2 outs, he bears down. Kevin Gausman has another gear. He's on cruise control with his heater. He'll work at 93, 94, and out of nowhere, when the pressure gets on, he'll rush a 98, 99 mile an hour fastball in there. Big time arm, and really bears down when the pressure's on.
Betts delivered a leadoff homer, his 10th home run of the year. Takes the pitch down low. Wieters blocks it. Betts now 4, and that's going to bring Dave Wallace out to talk to Gausman. Betts has 4 leadoff home runs now in his career, and 2 of them have been hit this season, including the one put up today. Now Dave Wallace just wants to get his starter settled in here.
Yeah, Dave Wallace darted out of the Orioles dugout after that ball to Betts there with the changeup. Of course, Betts got on second pitch from Kevin Gausman, a fastball down at the bottom of the zone that he deposited out in the Orioles bullpen. The Red Sox on the board, so maybe Gausman got that in the back of his head. Be a little careful here.
Mookie Betts is now 3 for 10. Lifetime off Kevin Gausman. Red Sox came in as a team 7th in the American League in home runs hit. 1-0 delivery on the way, and that fastball is going to be taken inside. It's been interesting that for Kevin Gausman, it's all about getting right-handers out. They're hitting 290 against him, and left-handers are hitting 153.
Well, the equalizer for Kevin Gausman with the lefties, that changeup fades down and away, and when his slider starts improving.
That one down the line in left field towards the corner, and unbelievable goodbye home run. 2 at bats, 2 home runs. This one is good for 3 RBIs and a 5-0 Red Sox lead.
Man. Kevin Gausman trying to mix it up a little bit, changing the pitches, the sequence, locations. Matt Wieters setting up down and away, but this fastball runs all the way back across the plate, up and in, and Betts gator arming it to find the barrel, and he does, right down the left field line.
So 2 home runs in the ball game. The Orioles are checking to make sure it indeed was a home run. Buck Showalter has held it up. See where it hit. Was it fair? Close.
Very close.
But looks fair on the replay. And right on the line was Laz Diaz, and there'll be no challenge. So a 3-run homer by Betts. 2 at bats. He's had 2 home runs and 4 RBIs.
Man.
And the Red Sox, who had 3 home runs in the ball game last night, have hit 3 home runs in the first inning and 2/3. Dustin Pedroia, he had a home run in the first inning. The back-to-back with Betts, his 7th. He now has an 8-game hit streak. He is 5 for 12 off Gausman with the 1 home run. 0-1 will be a bouncer out in front, and a 1-ball 1-strike count.
You saw that power zone there for Pedroia. He doesn't mind expanding the zone inside. The fastball he hit out was down and in off the plate. Came off the bat hot, 102 miles an hour there.
And Kevin Gausman just struggling now. Probably a battle with getting his pitches set and struggling with the home runs hit. I mean, it's got to get to your mind a little bit about trying not to be fat in that strike zone. 2-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be a strike in the outside corner. So Pedroia goes with a 2-ball 2-strike count. The Red Sox are after their 18th win on this final day of May. They did not have an 18-win month last year. Got him. Called on the outside corner, so Gausman comes back to get him, but 2 walks, and they both score ahead of Betts with his 2nd home run of the ball game. 5-0. Contestant of the game, Pradhan Patel from Easton, has won $500 for being selected, $500 more for every Orioles home run hit. Play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs and win up to $50,000. Or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Go to mdlottery.com/baseball. Only the 2nd time this year the Red Sox have had back-to-back home runs. The Betts and Pedroia home runs that came in the first inning, which is kind of surprising in light of the fact they've hit some home runs. They haven't been back-to-back. So the Orioles with the uphill climb, trailing 5-0. Trumbo, and will take it for a strike on the outside corner, and an 0-1 count. Mark had the 0 for 3 in the ball game yesterday, the DH. And the pitch will be outside to him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Saving grace, of course, is it's the 2nd inning.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of time.
Yeah, Orioles offense, they'll pick away. You know, hopefully everybody's not going up there trying to hit a 5-run home run. Take their time. Good approach.
It does give Rodriguez, in his first start of the year, some breathing room, a chance to kind of relax and throw some strikes. We'll see if he does. 10-6 last year, a 3.85 ERA. 0-2 against the Orioles in his career. Left-handers 1-2 delivery. Trumbo started, did not go around. Doug Eddings down at first base.
Trumbo getting a look at this fastball coming in up around the eyes. So enticing. Big strong hitter able to hold up there.
2-ball, 2-strike count. And we'll take the pitch away. Tied for the home run lead. It's Frazier, Cano, and Trumbo, all with 15. Followed by the A's Chris Davis with a K, and David Ortiz, who both have 14 coming in. Manny Machado at 13 with 6 in the home run race in the American League. 3-2 delivery in the air, not deep, down the line in right. Long run Betts in, well, right on the line, no signal. I'll say that was in foul territory.
Rodriguez, it seems like just when you start to feel like you're going to get on a heater and drop a changeup or that slider on you there, Trumbo getting a little bit out in front for the weak fly ball down that right field line.
Well, Rodriguez getting the out. Wieters, Matt back in the lineup and hot, raising his average up to 289 during this hit streak that he is in, and he'll go after the first pitch he sees. 9-game hit streak, 16 for 38 during the streak. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. He has had an 11-game hit streak is his high. That was September of 15 through April of 16. That's the highest streak he's ever had. So he's closing in on the 11 here with the 9 he's got starting the ball game tonight.
Well, I think Matt Wieters in his recovery from Tommy John, this took a while for things to come around, and it really does. Yeah, you could say I played baseball my whole life, but the rhythm and timing, you step in a big league box, you know, catching up to a fastball, a lot of times you just don't trust your hands. And you see right here, Matt Wieters obviously heating up. First 24 games, very slow start, a little jumpy, but the last 9, big batting average, 429, extra base hits, home runs, RBI. He's letting the ball travel and trusting his hands.
A Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers. Pitch taken up high by Matt. But Showalter said before the game, though, the fact that Caleb Joseph has gone on the DL is not going to change the use of Matt Wieters. He is not going to play any more or any less than he did when Caleb was available. Francisco Pena called up, will be getting his time in behind the plate, and that 15-day DL for Caleb Joseph, the likelihood is it's going to be longer than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a look at Francisco Pena right there, catching in the minor leagues. The Orioles brought Pena into big league camp. Great opportunity for him to get familiar with obviously the Orioles pitchers and his teammates.
Towering fly ball to center, sending Young back, but he's got room. No breeze here at the ballpark tonight. That'll be hauled in, and you can see Rodriguez is a fly ball pitcher. It's already showing up here. It's the 4th fly ball that we've had. Base hit, line drive, and the other was a strikeout.
Yeah, he's moving his fastball around. He's not afraid to pitch in. We've seen the life at the top of the zone. Little two-seamer kind of zooms up and out of the strike zone. So you can't really gear up to the middle of the plate. He isn't making a lot of mistakes right now. The Orioles better be ready, though.
2 down, and Jonathan Scope will take it. Jonathan's got a 4-game hit streak coming into the ball game tonight. He continued it with a 1 for 4 in the opener of this 4-game set. Left-handers 1-0 delivery to him. Good turnover pitch going down and away.
Yeah, located well. So he'll throw that fastball, a two-seamer with a little extra life riding up through the zone, and then 4-seamer driving it down into the lower quadrants.
Jonathan 5 for his last 16 during the streak. Pitch will be taken outside for a ball. Whereas Scope, Red Sox have been a tough team for him. He's 3 for 15 this year. against the Red Sox and a lifetime .210 average off Boston pitchers. 2-1 delivery on the way. This one down and in. Well, that's a pretty good combo if you can control it.
Yeah, the change. You know, Jonathan Schoop, pretty good pass on the fastball, and here you go. After seeing 3 fastballs, pull the string on a change, get Jonathan Schoop out front. Pretty good movement as well.
Rodriguez, a 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be down low. Works out of that really a stretch position, not really a windup, but we see that a lot in this day and age.
Yeah, a lot of pitchers. Chris Tillman for the Orioles. It starts like this. David Price with the Red Sox starts on the side from the stretch just to eliminate extra movement.
And we'll get him. So the Orioles are retired 1-2-3. That'll be strikeout number 2 after 2 here at Camden Yards. Red Sox have a 5-0 lead. White Sox have started out like a house of fire, have now lost 7 straight, 13 out of 16. And now the whispers begin about Robin Ventura. Will he remain as their manager? Can Arrieta continue the streak of 23 starts where the Cubs have won all of them, and he is 20-0 with a 1.05 ERA? He is pitching tonight. And are these the real world champion Royals? They look like they were just going to drown and disappear. The last 7 games hitting .345, 48 runs, averaging almost 7 a game, and they're back as division leaders.
Yeah, Royals pretty amazing, and they lost 3 of their superstars. Their catcher, their left fielder Gordon, and their third baseman Moustakas. And guys are stepping up. Hosmer's having a monster offensive year there.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing that they've done that with those losses.
Yeah, sure is.
Oof. Is Xander Bogaerts with the 23-game hit streak. He grounded out his first time up. 0-1 delivery will be down the line and fouled. Take a look at our Jeep inside the numbers.
Well, most single season hits in the month of May. And take a look. Bogaerts leading away with the 48. Some other great Red Sox. Wade Boggs back in '86, of course, Hall of Famer. Jim Rice on that list, but Bogaerts has become a superstar last year, a breakout season for this team. This year, in the midst of a huge hit streak, a lot of talk of MVP. It's not only his offensive production, but at shortstop, actually leading in all defensive categories.
And in the first release of All-Star balloting, he's got more than anyone else in the American League. 0-2 delivery down to third and foul. His streak of 23 is tops right now. Ben Zobrist has hit in 16 with the Cubs. Paulo Orlando with KC in 13 in a row. Bogaerts, his on-base streak is the same as his hit streak at 23. 0-2 delivery on the way and a ground ball towards short. He got up on top of that one. That'd be short hopped, and a good play with a strong arm from Manny Machado, and Bogaerts is retired. The O's joined Major League Baseball in honoring our armed forces yesterday. Special jerseys and caps, those are now available They are at Orioles.com/auction. You can place a bid on these autographed authenticated items to benefit the Fort Meade Alliance Foundation. The bidding will close Monday at 10 p.m. Orioles.com/auction. Ortiz popped out his first time up. He is 6 for 13 with 2 home runs. Lifetime off Gausman coming into the ball game. 1-0 going for the long ball again.
A good life up there. Just taken off up and out of the zone at 96 miles an hour. See, just running up and off the plate. First pitch, a good changeup down in the zone.
1-1 delivery by Gausman will be fouled back and out of play. So Kevin with a 1-ball 2-strike count, just trying to hold it right here now, having given up the 5 runs on 3 hits, 3 home runs. Red Sox most home runs in a game this year against the Yankees May 8th, 4. They already have 3 in this one. And a 2-ball 2-strike count on David Ortiz.
Well, the Orioles were anxiously awaiting their return home as the weather started heating up. Big time power hitting team.
That ball into the shift is a base hit. You couldn't have walked that one out there and placed it any better than where that one landed. So Ortiz has an 8-game hit streak, 1 shy of his career high.
Yeah, see the Orioles with the big shift on and just lobbing it over the head in between Giannis and Rickard out there in right field. Good placement.
Hit number 4 for the Red Sox. That'll bring Ramirez up. Ramirez on a little tapper thrown out by Wieters in the first inning. With 1 away, the infield at double play depth and straight away on the defense. Hey, look at Ortiz points to the crowd. Did you see that? He threw over on me. He's laughing out there.
And a surprise Davis as well.
Well, if he runs, we'll have a story. And he fakes. He just faked going. Ramirez, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Well, there you see why there's some concern.
Yeah,
but not much.
17 seasons though, and he's got 16 steals, so he needs to get that one this year.
One in.
So you better watch out.
He may be going. 0-1 count. Ramirez will take it at the knees for a strike. 94 from Kevin Gausman. Ramirez has faced Kevin only 3 times, 0 for 3 against the Orioles starter.
Well, Kevin, a little bit of a problem trying to get that fastball consistently on the glove side. He's made some good pitches down and away to the right-handers, but too many balls have leaked back over the plate.
0-2, Ramirez fights it off. Second time through the order for Gausman this year has been the best as far as lowest opponent batting average. First time through at 237, second time 224, and then the third time up to 244. I mean, Kevin's numbers overall, that 239 opponent batting average is a real good one. There's nothing wrong with that. But the runs have not been there. 3.3 runs per start for him this year. 0-2 delivery on the way, taken, and it's a strike on the outside corner. Same one Pedroia argued about. He better move or he'll be gone.
Yeah, well, Gausman finally getting it out there. Matt Wieters basically insisting you got to get this fastball on the outside corner, and after a couple tries, and you see the pitch track, those 3 balls are in the middle of the plate. He finally drives the 4th one on the outside corner, and it's a quality pitch right on the outside edge.
3 strikeouts for Gausman. Ortiz remains at first. Shaw, shift put on against him. Flied out to right field his first time up, and the pitch will be in there for a strike to Travis Shaw. Shaw up there on the leaderboard, tied for 5th in doubles, 16th in the major leagues with it, 7th in extra base hits. and tied for 10th in RBIs. Which is taken down low, kind of a quiet, productive bat in this Red Sox lineup as far as notoriety is concerned.
Yeah, well, obviously the big names getting all the mention, the high streaks and stuff like this, but this guy has been the unsung hero for sure. I mean, this Red Sox team was scrambling when Sandoval, came into camp out of shape. Their corner spots, they didn't know what they were going to do. They moved Ramirez back over to first base. That was going to be a big question mark as well because he wasn't a good outfielder. Sandoval was over at third, who had a miserable year last year, and then being out of shape in camp. So Shaw steps in and has really saved the day for them. Playing a great third base.
Can play first base.
Yeah, he plays first base as well. And even coming up, they never thought he was going to be able to handle third base. Just too big of a guy, but he's worked hard and he's been playing very solid defense.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Ortiz, a single, is on at first base, and that will be fouled away by Travis Shaw. This is not a ballpark that has treated him warmly with the fly ball out in his first at bat. Now his career numbers here at Camden Yards, he's 1 for 16, and that one hit is a home run. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Davis still holding even with the left-hander up off the bag a step, and another one that's going to be fouled away, and that pitch count continues to climb. 62, and 2 out here in the third inning for Gausman.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. Of course, that last inning, Kevin, after that, he just started being a little too careful, a little too fine. A couple walks in an inning that really jacked up the pitch count.
2-2 delivery on the way, and a check. Did he go? Nope. Laz Diaz down at third, said he did not offer. So the count goes full 3-2. The rumble you'll hear is David Ortiz taking off on the pitch towards second base. Three-two. Towering pop up back over the screen and out of play. Red Sox are back to their old mold, if you will, or a couple of years ago and back further. They are one of the most patient teams. John Farrell's ball club now is seeing a lot of pitches. They're forcing starters to throw a lot of pitches. They foul off a lot. They're hitting home runs again. They got big averages at Fenway Park where they're playing really well, and they hadn't last season. 3-2 again. That one in the air and deep into the gap. David Ortiz can't run very well. It's off the top of the wall. Ortiz coming to third. Shaw to second. He'll stop him at third base. A double for Shaw. And we got that one where they weren't.
Yeah, Shaw picking up his 17th double. Finishes off a pretty good at bat. Fastball catching too much of the plate there. He just drops the head on it, driving it in the right center field gap. Unfortunately for the Orioles, Ortiz on first base there. He's got a hold on third base. And the other runner probably crossing the plate.
So Ortiz at third. Shaw is now tied for 5th in doubles. Dylan Bundy in the bullpen for the Orioles. 5 runs on 5 hits off Kevin Gausman, and here is a big at bat. It's a 5-0 lead in the third. Whether Gausman stays in and whether the Orioles stay within striking distance may well depend on what he does here with this at bat to Chris Young, because a base hit's going to score 2 more. 2 down. Young drew a walk, scored first time up. Pitch will be outside for a ball. And Chris Young gets one of those early important at bats in a ball game. Young 353 with runners in scoring position. He's 6 for 17 and will ask for the timeout.
Oh, Young, quality veteran, brought over here just for that. These type of situations. Come in a guy you can trust when he steps in the box. You know what you're going to get.
1-0 delivery to him. Good strike on the inside corner where Gausman has tried to be against these right-handed batters. And you can tell by Buck Showalter's look, Just how big this at bat is. One eye on the bullpen and one on the mound. One ball, one strikeout. Young will take it. Good strike located on the outside corner at the knees.
Great pitch there. Really driving that ball, finishing the fastball. Good four-seamer. Kevin Gausman holding the great velocity. A couple mistakes, missing some location, and maybe a little luck by the Red Sox as well. Getting to a couple tough pitches.
1-2 delivery, and he goes upstairs and gets him, and Young slams the bat down. 4 strikeouts for Gausman here in the inning. No runs on 2 hits. 2 are left in scoring position, and for the moment at least a big strikeout in this game. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Navy Federal, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years, federally insured by NCUA. Beautiful night here at the ballpark. 2 more games against the Red Sox. 2 night games coming up. Rodriguez, no walks, 2 strikeouts as we go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning.
You see that 70% fastballs. I'm very confident with that pitch. The Orioles start turning a couple around.
Rickard back in the lineup, did not play last night, getting his chance against the left-hander. Shaw creeping in a bit at third base. Rickard will take the pitch up high for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strikeout from Rodriguez. Rickard hitting .286 off the lefties, 2 home runs.
Joey riding the roller coaster up and down offensive year.
That should be a base hit. It will be. With the speed, not going to throw the ball away, and the Orioles have the leadoff man on for the 2nd time in 3 innings.
Joey will take that for sure.
Now the Orioles host the AL East rival Yankees 3-game weekend series beginning on Friday. Tickets available for you for this big division series, and we ask you to bring food items, non-perishable, and cash donations to the park for the series. It's the Maryland Food Bank Drive, part of the 30th annual Orioles Reach Drive, presented by Masson and WJZ. It's this coming weekend against the Yankees. Here's Paul Janisch. Janisch getting the start at 3rd. Paul's 4th start at 3rd base. There are the numbers in just the 14 at bats he's had. He of course was among the leaders in most offensive categories in the International League before being called up by the Orioles. And that is there for a strike.
Yeah, what a spring training he had.
Yeah.
My oh my, playing incredible defense, and he's swinging the bat so well.
J.J. Hardy's still out, and by the way, Hardy's going to get a CAT scan on Friday, and if all goes well, he will start legitimate workouts back to baseball. The scan is just a a make sure CAT scan to make sure there's nothing wrong and that they are not concerned about him returning to baseball activities.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of Orioles keeping their fingers crossed for that one.
Yep.
J.J. Hardy is such a stabilizer for this team. A great leader defensively. Helps Machado and Scope settle in out there defensively.
1-2, fisted towards second. Pedroia is there to put it away. One down. Rickard remains at first.
See Rodriguez, his opponent average by situation last season, his breakout year where he had 10 wins with the bases empty, 259. Runners on, better there, 249. But with scoring, runners in scoring position with 2 outs. How about this guy bearing down, 22 years old and slamming the door. What a year for Rodriguez.
One down, top of the order, Adam Jones, a base hit his first time up. He was stranded at second after a pass ball put him there. The pitch drops into the strike zone after moving Adam away a little bit, so pretty good movement. Hitting only 162 off left-handers so far this year for Adam, who last year hit 261 off the Southsiders. 0-1 delivery on the way to him in the air to center field. That'll send Young back at the wall. Makes the catch. Good read. Back to first base goes Rickard. 2 down.
A pretty good pass right there from Adam Jones, squaring one up. And running Young all the way back to the wall. Adam, a nice base hit in his first at bat, going the other way. And of course, team captain Jones with some offensive problems here recently. Was out early today taking some batting practice, trying to iron things out.
So Adam Jones out of there, 2 down. Reimold flying out to center his first time up. Big outpouring today by Seattle, 16-4 over San Diego today. Smith a 2 for 4, Seager a 3 for 4, Adam Lind 2 for 5. Smith 4 RBI, Seager at 4, Lind at 3. 2 away. Reimold towards the gap. It's got a chance to fall in, and it will. Right at the base of the wall. Rickard makes the turn. He'll come in to score. Stopping at second. Reimold, a 2-out RBI double.
Well, that was a beautiful swing from Nolan Reimold, picking up his 4th double of the year, but he's starting to drive the ball. Picking up a home run in Cleveland here. The Betts, all you see is his number right off the bat. Reimold's got to take a picture of this swing. This is how you stay on top of a fastball up and away. Beautiful swing from Reimold, covering it. One hop to the wall.
10th RBI of the year for Nolan. That's why he's in there and up there in that number 2 spot against the left-hander. And now it is a 5-1 ball game. And here is Manny Machado. Machado flied out his first time up. And will foul that one back. Well, the Orioles well within striking distance here in this ball game, only in the 3rd inning, and get one plated. Nolan with a 1, Machado rather, with a 1 for 8 lifetime off Rodriguez. 0-1 delivery on a check swing. And a 1-ball 1-strike count. So the Orioles getting a chance. Obviously, that's a big RBI potentially out there.
Yeah, just take one at a time.
Yep.
Slow things down a little bit. Don't try to do too much. Keep pecking away at Rodriguez. This is his first start of the year.
1-1 put up in the air to center field. It is deep. Going back Young. Young at the wall. Young up. And he makes the catch. Chris Young, in his first start in center field this year, goes to the wall and hauls it in at the very top. Denied a 2-run homer to Manny Machado. Fourth inning of Orioles baseball is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick. Some of the awards that have gone to the Orioles, and one taken away from Manny Machado. Great play by Young.
Boy, was that a game changer right there.
Mercy. So Kevin Gausman back out, a 5-1 ball game. And the pitch will be taken away. Swihart, strikeout victim, his first time up. Vasquez and then Betts at the top of the order. By the way, in that San Diego game against the Mariners 16-4, James Shields gave up 10 runs on 8 hits and 2 2/3 innings.
Ouch.
He has been much talked about as a potential acquisition for teams looking for a starter, but yikes.
Yeah, well, sometimes a change of scenery helps, though. Things snowball when you're on a losing team and everything's negative.
That one to center, Adam Jones. One down, fourth inning. Our PNC minor league report. PNC for the achiever in you.
Oh, here he is. Just recalled from AAA Norfolk, Francisco Pena. This season, 24 games, hitting 200, 6 RBI, a couple doubles there. 237 career batting average, but really known for the offensive threat. He's a defensive catcher. His father, former Major League catcher Tony Pena. There's a good look at Francisco. One of the nicest young men you're going to meet. Always a big smile on his face. Works hard behind the plate as well.
And he's going to get a real shot. He's going to play in some games here for the Orioles. Here's Christian Vasquez, catcher for the Red Sox. Drew a walk, scored. Kevin Gausman walked 2 in that second inning, and both of them would cross on Betts' 3-run homer. Mookie Betts has had homers numbers 10 and 11. Pedroia has had his 7th. And that's where the 5 runs have come from. The Orioles getting the RBI from Reimold in that third inning.
Well, you like those 2 fastballs. Kevin Gausman stay in that spot. This is this ball game. It's not going to be much damage done.
1-2 came in and got him to chop that one foul. Real tough ball to get a bat on right there. And a 1-ball 2-strike count. So Gausman doing one of those battling through things right now, where you get touched up early, but it is early. You try and keep your team in the ball game. So far he's doing that. Down to third, Paul Yanish is there. Throw on the money. Vasquez is retired. Now, the day after the Orioles win and score 5 or more runs, get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com with the promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Rick Showalter's team 28 and 21, 1 down in the loss column, 2 overall against the Red Sox, who are leading the East. Mookie Betts, 2 home runs, 2 at bats, 4 RBIs from the leadoff spot. 1-0 delivery. The high strike called. 1-1.
Yeah, see if he can stay on that outside corner. 1 home run, pretty much center cut. Second pitch of the ball game to Betts. And then the second home run, up and in fastball.
That is in there for a strike. Heading moving the other way in the batter's box. 1-2. Gausman picking the pace up, lined right to scope. And Kevin Gausman retires the side in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Chris Davis will lead it off for the Orioles. last day of May. How about some May springboards? The A's, Chris Davis, 11 home runs in May. He's tied with Adam Duvall of Cincinnati for the most home runs by a player this month. CC Sabathia, who's pitching tonight, has a .45 ERA in 3 starts in May. Tonight he's gone 4 innings so far, 1 run, 3 hits against him. And how about Paulo Orlando of Kansas City? He is hitting .441 this month. We talked about players who are stepping it up for the Royals with some of their stars out. He's one of them.
Yeah, he sure is. They called up this Eibner guy who's hitting, almost 500 in a few games. And
Davis into the shift. That will be played by Pedroia. Davis out on the pitch.
So an organization being tested with some injuries and some young guys they've called up in the minor leagues doing a nice job taking advantage of their opportunities. We've seen that done with the Orioles over the past few seasons.
Yep.
Guys stepping in, filling the void until the frontline guys come back.
Rodriguez will, while not on an exact pitch count, John Farrell obviously he said we're going to watch closely. It's his first appearance since last September at the major league level. They're going to have some reins on him here in this game, but right now he's rolling. Trumbo flied out to right field his first time up. Mark standing in with Wieters waiting on deck.
Now Rodriguez in his last rehab start threw 102 pitches, but it's a different type of intensity for sure.
Came in the 87-mile-an-hour pitch. The thing they were concerned with, the Red Sox said, was velocity. Mike mentioned how he was 95, 96 last year. He's not been above 94, according to them in the spring training games, and more like at 92 for a maximum. And so they were wondering about the velocity off the end and foul.
Well, you're seeing the importance of location over velocity, because Kevin Gausman's fastball consistently maybe 4 or 5 miles an hour faster than Rodriguez's, but he's missed his location a couple times and definitely paid for it. Rodriguez, not many mistakes in the heart of the plate.
0-2 delivery, and just protecting that time, able to foul it off. All-star balloting first results were released by Major League Baseball today. You see where the Orioles are in that regard. Mark Trumbo right there, and would be in the outfield, the third among outfielders. And Chris Davis up there, Jonathan Scope, Manny Machado first, of course, at third base. And the voting will continue online. Went upstairs and pops it up. Ramirez and the catcher. And Ramirez and the catcher. And Vasquez puts it away. That's a tough play.
That is a real tough play up there a long time. Now your corner infielders are taught to call the catcher off anytime, especially one hanging up there that long, 4 or 5 seconds up in the air. There's a first baseman or third baseman plenty of time to get in there. Just a better angle, and of course easier glove to catch a pop fly with.
2 down, nobody on. Here's Matt Wieters. Flied out to center field. Rodriguez taken for a strike last year against Rodriguez.
And now Wieters facing Rodriguez last year, getting on down fastball away and driving it to the bullpen. Right field at Fenway Park.
0-1 delivery on the way, showing a lot of that. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's really a changeup, but it certainly is less than he's throwing on his fastball.
Yeah, it is his change, and at time it comes out of his hands maybe a little too firm, but he gets a little fade action, and sometimes that's all it takes, just enough off his regular fastball to get a guy off the barrel.
0-2, Matt Chase foul tip, and he got him. Held on to by Vasquez. 1-2-3 inning, 2 out of the 4 now. He's retired the side in order.
set. Take a look at Gausman facing Betts. Fastball away, fastball down the middle. First hitter of the game, home run, 1-0. How about the second hitter of the ball game, Pedroia? Fastball away, and then he tries to sneak one down and in. Pedroia good, in off the plate, aggressive there. Back-to-back home runs. Betts coming up for a second at bat, working him tough here, but misses a fastball. Wieters wanting it down and away, leaks up and in, and Betts, alligator arming and finding the barrel. Big home run there. Mookie Betts is the first leadoff hitter in Red Sox history to homer in the first and second inning of a ball game. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
So Kevin Gausman remains out there. 5 runs, 5 hits, 2 left Boston. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 left the Orioles. And Dustin Pedroia fights that one off. His home run is 7th in that back-to-back first inning, and he's been called out on strikes. Pedroia is now 5 for 13 with a home run. Lifetime off Gausman. An 8-game hit streak for Pedroia. And the pitch outside for a ball. So he is clearly back to being Dustin Pedroia. He has hit safely in the last 13 games against the Orioles and has reached base against the Orioles in the last 17. Pitch is taken up high.
Nice.
Gausman 2-2.
See Dustin Pedroia's home run power zone, his first plate appearance. Like, how the heck can he be looking in there for that fastball? Good fastball in off the plate, but you see his power zone. He expands. He expands up and in off the plate. I mean, he's just looking in there and turning and burning. Very aggressive on the inner third. That'll work him away.
Quite a career already for Dustin Pedroia. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Set up outside. That's where it was. Chopper. Manny's going to have to gun it. Show the arm, and he does.
And he's made a couple nice plays at shortstop. What kind of routine? But Manny is learning the angles every day, getting better and better. Here, look how he reaches out there, catches in front. So athletic for a big man. Reaches down. Look at the eyes, the focus there. Of course, Manny, the loose arm, when he starts to load up, comes across hot and accurate. Nice play by Machado.
We'll bring Bogaerts up. 0 for 2. He's grounded out a couple of times. Gausman's pitch outside to him for a ball. Well, Bogaerts, can he extend that hit streak that he's got going, which is at 23 games right now? And a strike taken at the knees on the inside corner, which he quietly questioned. Leads the majors, 271 hits since 2015. He has been doing it for a while now, consistency. And of course, the streak helping all of that out. 1 ball, 2 strike count to him. And the pitch will be up high.
Yeah, Bogaerts really kind of quietly doing what he's done. I think everybody in the Red Sox organization, realizing what they have. But when he first came to the big leagues, he was over at third base and kind of moving him around a little bit. They were tentative about moving the young shortstop on the middle of the diamond. The Boston Red Sox, that's a lot of pressure on a young player, and they had youth at short, youth in center. And a lot of times it's tough to win that way. Well, it did take a couple years, but boy, as the backbone blossomed.
2-2 will stay foul. Pretty good shortstops. Iglesias, who's there. Bogaerts there.
Yeah.
I mean, those are 2 of the best defensive shortstops in baseball.
Yeah, great glove men. And now Bradley Jr. settled in at the major league level. Got him in center. Bogaerts. Of course, the great veteran Pedroia at second base. Very strong up the middle. Most good teams have that strength.
2-2 delivery on the way by Gausman. He got him. Great location. That's 5 strikeouts now and 2 away here in the 5th inning.
Well, the location is the key. Wieters setting up down and away. But how about the velocity? 98. That's big time fastball. Pretty much unhittable in that location. If he can stay down there, a lot of success.
6 in a row retired. since the double by Shaw in the third inning. Ortiz a base hit, and he is popped out. Ortiz now upping the hit streak to 8. The base hit in this game. The other thing Gausman has done, he is working at a faster pace than he was at the start of the game. Generally goes the other way around, but maybe Dave Wallace talked to him about that. Try and get that ball, get it back in there, be comfortable, be confident.
Yeah.
0-2 delivery with a shift on against him and a swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts. Kevin Gausman 2 in the inning. Retires the side in order for the second consecutive inning. Red Sox remain on top 5-1. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by American Standard Heating and Air. It's their all-star sales event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. Beautiful night at the Inner Harbor and here at the ballpark. 84 degrees when we started. Some very high clouds, but mostly blue sky, dimming in the sunset. A 5-1 lead for the Red Sox. And the first pitch seen will be foul back on this at bat for Jonathan Schoop. Struck out his first time up. Schoop, Rickard, and Janisch will be due up. The Orioles trying to end this month with their 15th win. They were 14-9 in April. They are 14-12 so far in May. Pitch is taken away. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Schoop.
You know, earlier we were talking about 6 through 9 hitters, and the Red Sox leading the way with batting average, and they're bottom of the order. But Jonathan Schoop has been huge in the bottom of this Orioles lineup. 8 homers, 28 RBI down at the bottom, and the importance of trying to turn this lineup over. Get to the top with Machado and Jones, and Davis, Trumbo, but
2-1 swung on, a pitch away, 2-2.
Chasing out of the zone there.
Rodriguez has taken the spot of Clay Buchholz in the rotation. He was moved to the bullpen. Buchholz 2-5 with a 6.35 ERA and 10 starts. So John Farrell took him out of the rotation with Rodriguez ready to come back tonight. 2-2 is the chopper off the plate. Rodriguez will field it and get the out. Next Tuesday is going to be June 7th, and the Birds take on the Kansas City Royals. 7:05. The first 20,000 fans 15 and over receive an Orioles golf umbrella presented by Visit Sarasota County. Celebrate summer with a great night. Family and friends here at the ballpark. Good seats remain at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. That's Tuesday, June 7th. Joey Rickard, a base hit, scored the lone run for the Orioles so far. Reimold, with 2 down in the inning, drove him home with a double. That one will bounce away. Rodriguez has a brace on that right knee that was injured. He used that going through rehab, and obviously they're keeping a very close eye on that as to whether or not that will stand up for him here as he gets back to the major league level. Not sure how long you'll have to use that brace on the right knee. 1-0 delivery, grounded to third and foul.
Well, he had a setback when he was with the Orioles in the minor leagues with the knee. The problem again, spring training. And we hope the young player doesn't be one of those reoccurring themes. I know the Orioles keeping their fingers crossed about Manny, who's had a couple knee problems.
1-1 delivery, and we are striking the outside corner. As Rickard was looking in, pitch was away, and the count will go to 1-2. Red Sox getting all of their runs in the first 2 innings, 5 of them. Rickard will pop that one up, and it'll be back and out of play.
See what Rodriguez has done against the Orioles righties tonight. He used that fastball 65%. The Orioles knew coming in that he liked this fastball, but he just hasn't made any mistakes with it. And true to form, the changeup to the righties. He's been locating it well on the outside corner.
1-2 will jackknife him away. Rickard, of course, with a red hot start in April. A cooler month of May, hitting just .210 in May with a couple of home runs. Like Showalter with Kim hot is giving Kim a chance, not against a left-hander, but against the righties. Good eye and a pitch inside. Full count, 3-2 on Rickard. Giannis on deck, 1 down.
I think it's nice that Buck Showalter has had a couple extra players that have been really hot off his bench. And Kim heating up, and Reinhold's been consistent all year long in his playing time.
3-2 delivery in the air to left field, and it'll stay up in the gap. Swihart there to haul it in, 2 down. Caption this. Check out @MASSANOrioles on Instagram and provide your best caption for this photo. 3 commenters will win autographed memorabilia. Watch every O's game with us, the Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill. Hang local. Here's Giannis, popped out his first time up. One-0 count. Rodriguez pretty much in control. Single by Jones, double by Reinhold, single by Rickard. Those are the 3 hits the Orioles have put up. Orioles were held to 4 hits in the ball game last night. 3 of them coming in 1 inning off the knuckleballer. 2-0 pitch. Ramirez will go over, no play.
Well, that fastball all over the heart of the plate, but his ability to change speeds now as this game starts picking up, especially the right-handed hitters with that changeup. Well, and that fastball to get on Giannis there.
Left-handers 2-1 delivery. Giannis fouls it back. Deal today affecting the East. The Blue Jays got Jason Grilli. That had been rumored. Cash considerations and Sean Radcliffe. Grilli 1-2, 21 games, ERA 5.3. He only worked 17 innings. Opponents hitting .242, so Blue Jays have Jason Grilli to work in the pen. 2-2 delivery. Wow. Caught the home plate umpire, Corey Blazer, and almost caught Giannis.
Giannis just trying to keep this at bat alive here. Fastball riding in, and wow. Off the bat, up over the head of Vasquez, and stones him right in the chest there. Boom, squares him up.
Ow. 2-2 delivery, and that'll be down low. This has been a tough first 2 games for catchers and home plate umpires.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Wow. Three and 2. Hannigan caught the knuckler, Ryan Hannigan. 3-2 delivery. Got a chance to fall in. Diving, and it's going to get by Betts. Backed up by Young. Into second base goes Giannis, and he's got a 2-out double.
Well, the Red Sox defensive positioning with Betts, they like to play him shallow and closer to that right field line, and Giannis beats him in the gap. Pretty good effort though, but a nice piece of hitting here, staying on top. A couple balls driven that way. Look at the effort by Betts, almost coming down with it. Skipping all the way to the wall though. Nice backup by Young, keeping Giannis at second base. You see that angle, so that kind of tells you how shallow he was playing. He was actually cutting back for that ball.
So Paul Giannis gets his first double with the Orioles this season, and Adam Jones gets the RBI chance. Orioles 0 for 3, runners in scoring position tonight. Jones a base hit. He is 1 for 2, flying out to center. And another chance to chip away at this 5-1 Red Sox lead, or better if Adam can get a hold of one. 1-0 pitch on the way to him. That's going to be into left field. Up with it, Swihart, runner coming home. Here's the throw to the plate off the mark, and great slide to the inside part of the plate. An RBI picked up by Adam Jones on a base hit, makes it a 5-2 game.
Well, great job by Giannis actually keeping this inning going, turning it over, giving Jones a chance, and he hammers one through the 5-6 hole. Dickerson sending Giannis on the way, but what a read by Giannis, seeing Vasquez cut to the inside. Whew, almost a great tag attempt there, but Giannis going to the inside of the field. Beautiful hook slide. Give the Orioles a run closer.
Oh, another big run in, and that'll bring a visit from Carl Willis, the pitching coach, to the mound. Adam Jones picking up his 23rd RBI of the year to make it a 5-2 game. And you got to believe that's a discussion about how do you feel in your first start of the year here, as the Orioles have come back from a 5-0 to a 5-2 ball game, and that's their 5th hit.
Well, he lets up a little bit on Giannis and leaves one all over the heart of the plate. Giannis does a good thing driving in the right center gap and giving Jones a chance, who's squared up all 3 balls he's hit tonight.
Now Nolan Reimold, he's delivered a double and an RBI, 1 for 2. 4-game hit streak for Nolan, and 3 for 9 lifetime off Rodriguez. 1-0 delivery that will catch the inside corner for the high strike. Each team with 5 hits. Difference has been the Red Sox hits. 3 of them have been home runs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jones not much of a lead at first. Again, trying to stay in on the hands. Will miss inside, 2-1.
Well, Rodriguez has been really impressive with his command on both sides of the plate. Not afraid to come into the big righties the Orioles have. And it's either going to be on the black or in off the plate, as you see there by the pitch track. One strike just catching the corner, the other 2 just off the inside corner.
2-1 delivery. Got one out over the plate. Reimold will foul that one off. And a 2-ball 2-strike count. Right back here tomorrow night for game 3 of this 4-game series. Mike Wright against right-hander Joe Kelly. 6:30 O's extra, 7 o'clock for the ball game. Two delivery. Down to third. Shaw will go to second. Pedroia on the force out. But the Orioles get run back on a couple of hits, leaving one on, and make it a 5-2 Sox lead. 5-2 lead in the ball game. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick with you. Kevin Gausman, tough start. He's held in. He'll be back out here. But the first couple of innings just couldn't settle it in.
Yeah, and it was really his fastball command glove side. He left a couple. Matt Wieters setting up away, down and away on the righties, and they just leaked back over the plate. Betts a couple home runs. Pedroia home run. The Orioles have given up 6 now in the first 2 games of this series. Good news is Gausman's looking really good, driving the ball now down and away hard, fastball velocity up. He looks good, and he's giving his team a chance.
Yep. Dylan Bundy's going to get back up in the bullpen, so this may be it for Kevin here in the inning. The pitch count, of course, being up there, he's going to hit 100 here in this inning, and there's Bundy up for the second time. And Mike Showalter does not believe in getting a reliever up twice without bringing him into the game, unless it's an extraordinary circumstance. Hanley Ramirez leading it off. Ramirez has grounded out and struck out. Shaw and then Young will follow. Pitch will be taken down low, and Ramirez gets ahead on the count 2-0.
It's just amazing to me the few mistakes that have really been made here in this series. The Orioles pitchers, Tyler Wilson threw I thought a really good game, and in my opinion maybe his best of the year, but made 2 mistakes up in the zone, and both went for home runs. And here Gausman, a couple mistakes early to get knocked out of the park. How important every pitch is.
2-1 delivery, check swing. Gausman will have to field it and make the play himself. Throws it away. That'll go off the facade. Orioles will, as they tag him, they do, but he did not make a turn to second. So it will be an error, something the Orioles have had far too many of late.
Yeah, last couple of weeks run into that error bug. Kevin Gausman, nice job setting up on the backside. A lot of times if a pitcher makes an error, it's because it doesn't get his feet underneath him, but he forgot to get his arm on top. Watch his right elbow, it stays low. Yoicks, and away. And some frustration there.
The Orioles have dropped down to 10th in fielding in the American League as a result of that road trip, and the error is committed. So the leadoff man's on an error, showing bunt. Shaw, he had the shift on, so if he bunts down to third, there is nobody there. Manny taking a look now as to where he's going to play, whether or not Shaw meant that. Shaw's had a double, and he is flied out. Leadoff man on. Shift on, and Machado's not moved over to third any closer, and that one will be fouled away by Travis Shaw.
And a lot of times hitters will just show that, try to get the infield to move a little bit, get in their head. You know, if they're a little tentative or maybe in between steps, you might be able to sneak one by him. Shaw trying to suck Manny in. Got him in that last pitch, but Manny back. Double play depth.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Small lead, Ramirez. Punch the other way down the line towards the stands, and that will be foul. Brimel going over, but had no play on it. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Travis Shaw.
Gausman up to 104 pitches, but actually throwing much better. I think last few innings, driving the ball downhill, great velocity on his fastball, hitting Wieters' glove. The location there, down and away, all 3 offerings.
1-2, and a timeout asked for by Shaw. Talking about the home runs now in the series, the season series so far. Boston's out homering the Orioles 9-5 in the 5th game these teams have played. 1-2. And got him to go after one that was down. Good pitch again, and strikeout number 7.
Now, why has Kevin Gausman handled lefties so well this year? That pitch, beautiful. Look at the location, all 4, and look at the fade action on the change, diving down and away to get Shaw. Great pitch.
Season, I'm sorry, Mike. Season high in strikeouts is 9 for Kevin. Came against Minnesota. Career high is 10. That was against Toronto last year. 1 down, 1 on. Young drew a walk and scored, has struck out. Will foul that one back off the fists over the screen.
Good fastball there. Want it inside, get it in there. Either going to be right on the black or just off the plate inside. It almost looked like Young was looking for a fastball in, but located so well, just tied them all up.
The 1 delivery on the way to him. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Skipped off the plate that time. Neither team leaving a lot of runners on in this ball game. When they're on, they've been in. 3 for the Orioles, 2 left on for the Red Sox so far. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery, and that one lined to center. It's an Adam ball. He's got it. 2 down. Visit Orioles.com/vote orange for the 16 All-Star Game balloting. And if you do so and vote at least 5 times with the O's as your favorite team, you'll be entered to win an All-Star Game jersey signed by the Oriole All-Stars. Vote at least 20 times, select the O's. You get a promo code for a buy one, get one ticket offer for any game in the July series against the Rockies. That's Orioles.com/vote orange. Ramirez remains at first, 2 down. Swihart has struck out and flied out, and he will take the pitch for a strike. Over that mark now of 100 for Kevin Gausman at 109 in pitches thrown, and with Bundy still up, this is going to be his final inning. 112, most thrown this season. That was against the Angels. 1-0 delivery. Looked at it at the knees. 1-1.
Good pitch there. Kevin Gausman, still a young pitcher, still kind of learning his way through. A little setback coming out of spring training on the disabled list. Got off to a great start. I think if he's able to get a win under his belt, I think that might help his confidence a little bit.
Yeah.
But his first 3 starts, he pitched to an earned run average of under 1.5. A little setback here in his last 4 or 5, but still a quality arm. You see that the numbers against lefties, why he's had so much success.
1-1 delivery on the way. Check swing. Didn't go and didn't get the call at 96. Gausman has had 3 runs per 9 innings scored in his starts. The rest of the Orioles starters 4.8 combined. This time in this game, obviously, you've given up 5. It's not about the run support. It's what's been scored off you. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Nasty pitch.
Yeah, well, he's got 2 changes. He's got the circle change. He's got the Vulcan grip change, and that's more like the split finger. And there it was right there. See the split finger grip as he releases out of his hand. Looks just like the fastball. Trap doors and bounces right on top of the plate. Beautiful pitch.
2-2. Ramirez on first base. And a swing and a miss and got him. So 8 strikeouts. Kevin Gausman. No runs, no hits, an error. A base runner left on. It's probably going to be it for him for the night. He's hoping now for some runs. Right will be on the mound against Joe Kelly. Our coverage on MASN 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Southwest. Our game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
I see. Take a look at tomorrow's starters. Joe Kelly, a couple wins, but look at the earned run average. Big reasons. Red Sox kind of scuffled early on. They just hadn't been getting enough quality starts from their starters. Mike Wright in search of his 3rd win. And after watching the first 2 games, better be able to execute if you want to have some success against this Red Sox team. Kevin Gausman, very solid last 3 innings.
Out of the ball game as the skipper came over, and then pitching coach, that one down the line. Manny Machado, that's into the corner and takes a bounce in fair territory. Swihart will get it back in. His throw to second won't be in time. And he gets a leadoff double here in the 6th inning.
Well, after Manny Machado got one taken away out in center field, he finds a hole in this outfield. Hitting on the inside fastball, pulling the hands in tight. Didn't quite get it on the barrel, or that ball would have probably been about 20 rows up. But enough. One hop the wall, pick up his 21st double of the season. Here's the fastball in off the plate. Man, he's so good at clearing the hips. Leading with the hands. Short hop in that left field wall.
So the Orioles a chance to get to Rodriguez. Davis 0 for 2. Goes after the first pitch the other way. Swihart in a couple of steps. Manny will tag, but not going anywhere. Does force the throw. So Davis retired. Robbie Ross Jr. in the bullpen for Boston. So Chris Davis with an 0 for 3. Retired. And Bundy getting ready to come in. Mark Trumbo coming up. Trumbo has flied out and popped out. Orioles are now 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. RBI by Reimold came in the 3rd. RBI Jones in the 5th. Popped up shallow right. Betts was playing shallow. Will have no trouble getting under this one. Boy, he does play shallow out there, even on power hitters like Trumbo.
Yes, he does. Now, of course, he's played center as well. Great speed in the outfield. And I think they feel like he can take more hits away playing in than if you waste him playing deep in a ballpark.
So after the leadoff double, 2 quick outs. And that will bring up Matt Wieters. Wieters hitting .290 with runners in scoring position this year. 0 for 2 in the ball game. Has flied out and struck out. The Orioles looking to add another RBI to bring them within 2. First ball hitting again, fouled away. It's a number that has dropped for the Orioles here this month. Overall on the season, their average 2-out runners in scoring position down to 232. It had been up over the 270 mark for the month of April coming into May. Those are tough hits and big ones when you can get them.
Yeah, they've taken a little dip offensively.
0-1 pitch on the way. Over the top, Rodriguez. Same result, same place.
I think the Orioles game in general, really, when you look back from the time J.J. Hardy went on the disabled list, there's been a lot of inconsistencies defensively, offensively, and just a roller coaster ride for this team. Yeah, they have really good games, and they've had some really bad games recently. And when you get into these times and you lose key players, and I really do think this team takes that stuff to heart. You know, yeah. I think it affects them. This team's all about that kind of chemistry and, you know, pulling for each other. Yeah, they support guys that come up for the minor leagues to fill in too. But they understand how important a player like Hardy is as far as stabilizing the lineup, the defense as well. I mean, they're having a hard time finding consistency at third base.
Yeah, they've had to make. Buck has to make a choice every day. Do you want to go for the offense or the defense at third?
Yeah.
And that's not where he wants to be. If he's got Hardy at short and Manny at third, he's got both in both places. 0-2 delivery on the way. A little tapper that will go foul. So Wieters battling here, fighting off some pitches. Count will stay at 2 strikes, and back goes Manny to second base. Well, the Orioles started out with that great 7-0 run, but since then they've played 500 baseball. They're 21-21 since their 7-0 beginning. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it still leaves you 28-21, which is just one back in the loss column to Boston. 0-2 count. Wieters, this one's going to be fair. Shaw, knowing he's got time, takes it and gets the out. No runs on one hit, no errors. Leadoff double for Knott. We've completed 6. Red Sox on top. Bundy on to pitch.
But he kept his team in, and after a rough first 2 innings, strikeout pitch started working. He was driving his fastball on the outside corner. Had some problems early in the ball game, but he went to work, giving his team an opportunity to get back in. Gausman's pitches were nasty. This is what you're looking at, what Kevin Gausman can be. Really dominated the lineup for about 3 innings after he settled in. You see his pitch arsenal comparison. It is this Red Sox lineup. Got up with 3 home runs. And now it's time for the Jiffy Lube pitching change, brought to you by Jiffy Lube, where participating stores now do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube inspect your brakes today.
Christian Vasquez will lead it off. Goes after the first pitch. Dylan Bundy out of the bullpen.
You see his pitch arsenal. Big fastball, 64%, mid-90s with the heater. Breaking ball, power curve, and a real good change as well. 4.74 earned run average. Picked up his first Major League win on the last road trip.
Up high to Vasquez with Betts and Pedroia to follow. Opponent batting average high, righties and lefties.
Yep, they're a little too high.
Yep. 1-1 delivery on the way. Good breaking ball. Tied him up. For Bundy, his second game against the Red Sox this year. He's worked 2 1/3. Gave up a run on 3 hits. Third game ever he's pitched against them. There is Kevin Gausman. Interesting. He gave up all 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Bats fair, balls foul. He gave up all 5 hits, Kevin did, in the first 3 innings. And as Mike said, settled in, but the Orioles have not been able to get back.
The Orioles got to start taking advantage of the warm air here in Camden Yards. The Red Sox taking advantage of it with the 6 homers in 2 games. Red Sox got to start, or the Orioles got to start popping some out of the yard.
So Kevin's still not going to win his first game. Question is, will he lose his third? 1 ball, 2 strike count. Little dance of the back foot right there. And the count goes to 2-2 from Dylan Bundy. Another solid arm. And another question about location. 2-2 delivery. Good one. Outside corner.
Great pitch there from Dylan Bundy. 94 painted down and away. That is the location. Wieters wants it there. Bundy gives it to him. Perfect pitch, locking Vasquez up. Dillon with the very smooth delivery, gliding down the mound, and then just explodes out of that big right arm.
Betts will take the pitch for a strike. Betts, 2 home runs, first 2 at bats, numbers 10 and 11, 4 RBIs. His second homer good for 3. The 2 walks surrendered by Gausman came in the second inning. Both scored ahead of him on the home run. That one will be bounced. Pedroia waiting on deck. The Orioles, home run, live and die by. 23 and 10 if they get one. 5 and 11 if they do not. 1-1 delivery, and that will miss inside. Bundy with a 2-ball 1-strike count. The Red Sox, they have not had a hit since the 3rd inning on Shaw's double. Only base runner they've had since then was the error allowing Ramirez to reach in the 6th. In the air, they may have another one here. Way back, and goodbye home run. Up into the flag court, a 3-homer ball game for Mookie Betts. 10, 11, and 12, and a 6-2 lead.
Man, showing power to all fields. First one out in the O's bullpen. Second one right down the left field line. And how about going up over the scoreboard and right? Bundy putting it on the outside corner, but maybe just elevated a little too much. Maybe Betts thinking that's where he's going to stay, and he guesses right.
Well, that ball just kept going. So 4 home runs for the Red Sox as they equal their season high in homers in a game that they had against the Yankees. And for Betts, a night to remember. 3 homers. 0-1 delivery. Pedroia goes up the middle underneath the glove of Manny Machado. Pedroia, who had a home run, now has a base hit. He is 2 for 4 in the ball game. And the Red Sox continue to knock the cover off it.
And you see why Pedroia is so good. A lot of these Red Sox, he got fooled, but he kept the bat head through the zone, and it's the recognition of where the bat head is. You square it up and it shoots through there. Comes off a little bit hotter and sneaks it by Machado up the middle.
Now Bogaerts 0 for 3. Runner at first base and 1 out. Xander Bogaerts fouls that one off hard. The 3-run homer ball game by Betts is his first. He had 2 home runs in a ball game twice. The last time was last year against the Yankees in September. So Mookie Betts, 3 home run ball game and 5 RBIs in the game. 5 out of the 6. 0-1 delivery. That one towards the gap. Reimold coming, diving, can't get it. Xander Bogaerts has a 24-game hit streak on the base hit. Dying Quail to left field. Pedroia goes to second.
Pretty good 2-seam fastball by Dylan Bundy, riding in on the hands. And when you are hot, you're hot. Jammed him, but finding some outfield grass to keep the streak going.
Now the Orioles go into the shift. Giannis will go to the second base position, moves over from third to leave Manny on the other side against David Ortiz. Ortiz a base hit. He is 1 for 3. He's got an 8-game hit streak. Way inside to him. Dylan Bundy backing him off the plate. Ortiz now, he's on pace to be the oldest player in Major League history to lead the league in extra base hits in a season. 1-0 count. Pitch will be down low, gets away. Wieters can't find it. Got a chance at third, a big chance, and they got him. Boy, that's a big play. Ortiz stands there looking like, whoa, what'd you do that for? I'm a big bat at the plate. Now there are 2 down.
A nice recovery there by Matt Wieters. Ball kicks around a little bit. Always alert, pounces on it, and Pedroia just out there kind of in no man's land and thinking Wieters never going to be able to find it. Well, it's right underneath him. Wieters looks down, plenty of time.
Now 2 down, a runner at first. Ortiz will take the pitch away. 2-6 on the putout with Manny getting over there to cover.
That's a big break right there for the
Yes,
Orioles.
it is.
That could be a huge mistake.
And he's taking it. Was there. 3-1. I mean, there have been a couple of big plays. We'll see how much they matter. But when Gausman in that 3rd inning had runners at 2nd and 3rd, 2 down, struck out Young. I mean, that kept it where he needed it to be. This one could be a big out. Big swing and a miss. Ortiz, a 3-ball, 2-strike count.
Good fastball there. Good late life. 93 moving away from Ortiz.
3-2, 2 down. Xander Bogaerts will be running at first base. And Ortiz will lift it up in the air. A long run for Machado. Look out. Reaches and made the catch. Manny Machado, just enough room to reach out. Got it in the glove and held on to it. Big Papi is retired on a fine defensive play. Home run by Betts, a 6-2 Red Sox lead. Orioles making the plays and the pitches to keep them just close enough.
Now, how about Eduardo Rodriguez? First start of 2016 after dislocating his kneecap in spring training and coming out and throwing a gem. 6 strong innings, a couple earned runs against the Orioles offense. Red Sox are going to go to the bullpen. Robbie Ross, strong arm and lefty. Fastball 63% of the time. Hard slider. 2.45 earned run average, really starting to settle in for this team. 18 and a third, 22 punch outs. Only giving up the 14 hits, holding opponents down to the 203 overall average. Righties up to 250, but look at the lefties. That's .095 batting average, and he can roll them over 60% on the ground.
Jonathan Scope will lead it off against him, and the pitch will be taken for a ball up high and away. For Jonathan, trying to get a leadoff man on again. 0 for 2 in the ball game, fouled back. Ross appearing against the Orioles for the second time this year. He gave up 3 runs on 5 hits in 2 innings. Series at Fenway. Barnes will get ready in the bullpen. Career against the Orioles, he has a win, no losses, and a save. Working 14 innings, 16 hits, 9 runs. Pitch, 2-ball, 1-strike count. Rickard and then Giannis due up for the Orioles here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Red Sox got 2 in the first, 3 in the second. They get the 5-0 lead. Orioles responded with a run in the 3rd, a run in the 5th to make it 5-2, and then the home run by Betts in the 7th, a 6-2 ball game. And he's had quite a night.
Man, picking up the slack for Jackie Bradley Jr. out there.
Wow. We missed it earlier. He is on paternity leave today, effective today. Pitch will be taken up high, and a 3-ball 2-strike count. Orioles will take the walk. They got none of those. Rodriguez, that's an amazing part of a first start since last September in a major league game. No walks.
Yeah, no walks. He's always been pretty good about controlling the walks, but yeah, first big league start this year. And he was painting his fastball. Didn't make a lot of mistakes with it. Not many opportunities really for the Orioles to capitalize.
Jonathan 2 for 4. Lifetime off Ross. For this Red Sox bullpen, they are ranked 5th in ERA. They've given up a lot of walks. The second most walks surrendered by a bullpen in the American League is with the Red Sox. A swing and a miss, not this time.
Well, Ross loves his fastball and really relies on the movement. It gets on hitters. Quick arm, natural cut to his fastball, but there right into the top of the zone, and Schoop's bat head just a little drop. And ball shoots up over the top.
Last outing for Ross against Toronto on the 29th. He worked an inning in the third, gave up only 1 hit, no runs, had a walk and a strikeout. Rickard up, a base hit, runs scored, and he has flied out. Reimold and Jones have the 2 RBIs for the Orioles. And the pitch will be up high as he slips on his follow through in a 1-0 count. Showalter, a lot of standing in this game towards the front of that dugout. 1-0 delivery will be there for a strike.
See Ross, strong fastball. 94 to 96 with that heater. 4-seamer, good movement. Actually, that natural cut in on the righties.
1-1, turns it over in a 1-ball 2-strike count. Good news for the Orioles. Gallardo's ready to start rehab. He's going to go to Frederick on Thursday and start pitching. Get him back and available as a starter for the Orioles. 1-2 delivery by Ross. Talk about turning in a pitch. It's hitting it backwards. Upper deck.
Right. Ball cutting in. Chasing Rickard. He gets him out of there.
One ball, 2-strike count. Farrell choosing to stay with a left-hander here, and again that turnover pitch is a strikeout. Second he's got.
Yeah, that slider there. Now he's got the natural cut on his fastball. It takes just a little bit off. And you get a little more tilt on the pitch. Still pretty hard at 86 miles an hour. Doesn't stay on the lateral plane though. That one dives under the bat of Rickard.
2 down. Giannis has doubled, scored, and he has popped out. I'm going to send out best wishes to Tom Brenneman, the Cincinnati broadcaster. Going to have a little work done on his throat. Will be out for a while. Hope you're back in a hurry, Tom. Ball in the air towards center field and diving. Oh, this is Betts night. Not only has he got 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, but he makes a spectacular catch in right field on Giannis. He's the last one who should be making that catch.
I don't even know where the heck he came from. What a play.
Orioles are retired in order. By the way, Marty Brenneman's coming back for another year with the Reds, his dad. Good news for baseball. Lexus at Towson, the area's #1 luxury dealer. Come see why. LexusAtTowson.com.
Mookie Betts, what a night. This is his first at bat. Straightaway center field, second pitch of the ball game. Get this Red Sox offense going again.
And we go to the 8th inning, 6-2. Red Sox lifted long down the line and foul. Ramirez. He has reached on an error, struck out and grounded out. There's Mookie Betts.
What a game. What a way to end that last inning, coming out of nowhere.
It's kind of like everybody was standing around waiting for him to show up.
Right.
Superman.
Man.
And he made the catch. 0-1 delivery. That's going to be up the middle. Machado over. Down. Up. Throw. Not in time. Ramirez limping a little bit as he crosses the bag. He's got an infield single on that. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority. The Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Gel head. See that on a ski resort coming down a slope of that?
All right.
That'd be great. That's hit number 9 for the Red Sox. Ramirez. Now here's Shaw. He's had one of them, a double, 1 for 3. Lifts that one in the air to center. Adam Jones going back. Jones at the wall. Jones up, makes the catch. And all the way back. Try for the double play. And not quite in time. Ball gets away. Ramirez had rounded second. So he had to tag up, coming back the other way.
Yeah. Adam Jones, a nice play. Getting close to the wall. He gets one last look at the wall before he catches, collides, and when he looks up, he's got a shot at Ramirez, but the ball kind of leaks towards the infield, catches Ramirez on the back. Oh, nice double play. Beautiful play for the first out there from Adam Jones. You see the frustration, the want to get that second out.
So Adam, good play in center to haul that in, 1 down. Young up. Walk, run scored, is struck out and flied out, and made a spectacular catch in center. Pitch is taken for a strike. 8th inning. Everything big here if you can put another run up. And for the Red Sox, again trying to reach double digits in hits. They lead the majors in games with 10 or more hits. Runner goes, and it is fouled away. So Ramirez taking off on the 1 strike pitch will come back again.
Well, Red Sox definitely not taking any chances against this Orioles lineup. They get a couple guys on. Everybody in the Orioles lineup pop one out of here, get right back into this ball game. So Red Sox playing for some add-on runs, looking for a little more separation.
0-2 count on Young. Short lead at first base to short. That's a base hit. So Young is on, and the Red Sox, with only 1 away, have runners on at first and second base. Follow Orioles baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment, any moment. Game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download it. MLB.com at bat #1 app. The live baseball on your phone or tablet. Koji O'Hara warming up.
Fastball right there from Dylan Bundy. Some nice 2-seam movement on that heater away from the lefties.
Swihart 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts and a fly ball to center. 2 on. Red Sox just 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position because of the home runs accounting for all of their runs. Back-to-back Betts and Pedroia in the first. Betts 3-run homer in the second inning. Tolliver, the left-hander, up. Asher Tolliver for the Orioles. 2-0 delivery on the way by Bundy, and that will be fouled back. So a 2-ball 1-strike count on Swihart, trying to join the offensive flow in this game. All of the other Red Sox have been on. one way or the other, except for Swihart.
Well, he got 3 yesterday.
So he deserves.
He doesn't need it today, right?
Give him a break.
The Red Sox already got their 10 hits. My goodness. Haven't they done that? Like, they're definitely leading baseball and the amount of times they've done that.
Depends on who you talk to. The Red Sox say that they lead the majors now with 33 times that they have had 10 or more hits in a ballgame. And that is the correct number. 33 in their 52nd game.
That's impressive.
And that's going to be away. Dylan Bundy will take the count full. 3-2, 1 down. Ramirez on at second base and Young on at first. Orioles are playing their 50th ball game. All the clubs right around that now in the majors. 3-2 delivery and a late swing. Manny Machado, Scope, got to hustle it, won't get there in time. Ball not hit hard enough. And Swihart with that speed hits into a fielder's choice, moving Ramirez to third.
Yeah, Swihart, great speed out of the box, and I think as Manny and Scope continue to work together, the recognition, you know, and the timing of the double play. Manny's such a great athlete. He might have been able to come in and get a hop before. Might have been able to clean that double play up, but definitely Manny and Scope every day talk to about taking care of the baseball. You know, you guys are incredible athletes, and sometimes young players can kind of get outside of their skill level, try to do too much, but Bobby Dickerson's kept the harnesses on them. They've played some very consistent baseball.
Vasquez with a chance. 2 down, runners on at first and third. A walk and a run scored. He has grounded out and been called out on strikes. Vasquez only 5 for 33 with runners in scoring position. That's a 152 average. And he will foul it away the other way. Dylan Bundy coming on for Kevin Gausman in the 7th inning, a run on 3 hits. He has given up a couple of hits here in the 8th, but no runs so far. And again reached for and fouled away. So Bundy will get ahead of Vasquez. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good pitch there by Dylan Bundy. Buck Showalter wants to keep giving Dylan work. Keep trying to build the arm strength, the innings. This is a very important year for Dylan Bundy and the Orioles.
1-2 delivery on the way. 2-2 on a pitch up and in that time, and he was looking for a pitch away.
A breaking ball never really came back down into the zone.
Ramirez at third, throw over to first, pretty close on Swihart. Swihart had extended his lead on the last pitch. Tried to do it again there, and Bundy trying to pick him off. 2-2. To third. Fair ball. Yanish to second base, and they get the out. Boy, I'll tell you, that ball was absolutely scorched, and that's what his entire career has been about. That is the real glove. Paul Yanish can do that as well as anyone in baseball. Couple of hits, 2 left on. 6-2 Red Sox. Look on our how many to 20. Steven Strasburg, who was a winner Sunday. 4th season in Major League history in which at least 3 pitchers have won the first 9 or more decisions. Jake Arrieta, Chris Sale are the other 2. And for Chris Tillman, he's the first O's pitcher to win 5 or more games without a loss in a month since he went 6-0 in June of 13. And as a result of that, he now joins Jim Palmer as having 2 calendar months in which they have not lost a ball game. Jimmy did it September 77, September of 78.
Good company right there for Chris Tillman.
Yeah.
Boy, has he been pitching great for this Orioles rotation. Koji Uehara coming out of the Red Sox bullpen. Of course, the closer one time, but moved now into the setup role. 8th inning pitcher. Been in 21 games, couple wins, 405 earned run average, 25 punch outs. Just the 6 walks and holding opponents to just the 194 batting average. Lost a tick on his velocity, but still the great arm speed and that invisible 4-seam fastball.
So let's see what the Orioles can do with a couple of at-bats to go here in the 8th and 9th, trailing 6-2, being out hit 10-5 in the game, or 10-6 in hits. Adam Jones, leadoff batter. Adam RBI base hit, 2 for 3 in the ball game. Adam came in having had just 7 hits and 51 at bats over the last 13 games, but has gone 2 for 3 in this one. 1-1 delivery to him, chopped foul off his foot, and felt that one.
Koji, the split finger right there, stays up in the zone. Adam just hammering it down. Actually went down off the back foot. Dang.
Adam is 2 for 4 off Koji, and trying to get some feel back into that foot. 1-2. Reimold and then Machado due up. Uehara's pitch will be up and in. Koji, of course, a lot of experience pitching here in this ballpark. As Uehara, 3 wins, 4 losses, 8 saves here in this yard. This is the 66th game he has appeared in here at Camden Yards. Against the Orioles this year, a couple of games, 2 innings, no runs and 1 hit. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Koji's done some pretty special things with the Red Sox. He's being over there. A solid year last year. Strikeout rate over 10 Ks per 9.
And goes up and gets another one.
Just knows how to pitch. He understands what hitters are looking for. Knows how to manipulate, move the fastball around. Of course, the great split finger. But this is the bread and butter. 4-seam fastball. Seen so many hitters swing through that pitch. A lot of revolutions, and it stays true through the zone. Almost giving it that rise effect.
Nolan Reimold. Reimold a double, an RBI. He is flied out, hit into a fielder's choice. And the pitch is there for a strike. Eduardo Rodriguez making his debut this year. 2 runs, 6 hits over 6. Ross an inning with 2 strikeouts, and now Koji. Pitch will miss inside. Gausman, 5 runs, 5 hits over 6, the Orioles starter. Bundy has given up a run on 5 hits in the 2 innings he has worked. Uehara with a 1-1. Reimold in the air to right. Betts again, shallow. Will call off Pedroia and make an easy catch of a ball. Really a second baseman's play usually.
Yeah, he's playing right in Pedroia's back pocket. Shallowest right field you're ever going to see. Of course, pretty good closing speed. Dive out in front of Young in center field.
Manny Machado a double his last time up. Robbed by Chris Young, the center fielder, of a home run in the 3rd inning. Big play. 1 for 3 in the ball game and a 1 for 7 in the first 2 games of this 4-game set. And we'll take the pitch for a strike on the outside corner. Koji's 0-1 pitch in the air to center field. Young will not have a play on this one. And Manny's got his second hit, 2 for 4. A 2-out single here in the 8th inning.
Good hit. Best young hitters in the game today. Great ability to keep the bat through the zone. Of course, if he gets fooled a little bit, the long arms, that he can reach out just a little bit further than most hitters.
Manny getting his first hit off Koji Uehara in 8 at-bats. And now Chris Davis. Davis has had a home run against Koji's, 2 for 9. Chris has not had a hit in the ball game, 0 for 3. Chris now 5 for 36 in the last 9 games. The Orioles could use a long ball right here. 1-0 count.
Yeah, they could use Chris Davis. They need him to start heating up a little bit. That will help everybody around him.
Inside out foul.
In the middle of lineups, really they all help each other. You know, one guy starts getting hot, you don't want to pitch to him, so the guy ahead of him might get more pitches. It's just, but if somebody starts getting cold, Chris Davis has kind of gotten in that little cold spell here recently. They're not pitching the Trumbo as much.
He's had the long ball bat. Trumbo has. 1-1 delivery. Got one there. Way back in right field. Just what the Orioles needed. Goodbye. Home run. Out onto Utah Street and off the warehouse. It's foul. Look, Showalter's coming out. That ball was so high that it was up over the fair pole. And Buck can ask for a crew chief review.
Yeah, you have to.
Crew chief is Jeff Nelson, the second base umpire. Look how high that was.
Man. Oh my
and went
God.
behind the bleachers out onto Utah Street. And they will review it. The crew chief discretion. Yeah.
We'll try to find out right where it leaves the ballpark. There might have been a little hook on it on the end. But Davis thought it was fair.
Well, obviously a big review right here. The call was foul, so you've got to have conclusive evidence the call was wrong. And I don't know how you can tell from that angle.
Yeah, it's just too hard to tell. There's no way they can say conclusively, you know.
Boy, that was a shot.
Boy, they could use that though. Man, oh man.
It puts them right back in the ball game. And the call is
strike 2.
It stays. Foul ball.
Man.
That close.
Buck frustrated on a couple of reviews or lack of reviews. Of course, yesterday the foul ball in the first inning that couldn't get reviewed.
Well, Doug Eddings had the best view. I mean, the first base umpire was right down the line watching that. But a very tough call in any event. So let's see if Davis got another one in him. A little more to center field, please. 2 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. Chris that close to making it a 6-4 game. Manny Machado at first base. 2-2 delivery. Davis with a big cut, foul tip, struck him out. So a tough inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the 9th inning and the Red Sox lead at 6-2. brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. Gary Thorne and Mike Wardick here. We kept looking at the replays we had of that ball, and you just could not tell.
No,
it was so high, it disappeared.
Man, oh man. Well, Asher Tolliver into the ball game. Good fastball. He's a couple of appearances this year. Using it 76%. He's been using it in the low to mid 90s. And run average up a tick. Gave up a long ball in yesterday's game. Only sitting 308.
So it remains a 6-2 Boston lead going to the 9th inning. Mookie Betts. Could he do it again? 3 home runs, career high. Solo to lead off the ball game for Boston. 3-run homer, 2nd inning. 7th inning, solo homer. 5 RBIs. And the pitch by the lefty will be taken down low. A 1-ball, 1-strike count from Tolliver.
Boy, Chris Davis just missing a huge home run. They got the Orioles back into it.
Too strong. So strong he put it out of sight. Nobody could see it.
I thought it was going over the warehouse.
I thought it was going to hit the warehouse for a while. On the fly.
Man.
2-1 pitch on the way. A number to second base. Jonathan Scope is there, makes the play.
Nice pitch right there from Tolliver. Tolliver learning the hard way in yesterday's ball game the importance of location. A nice pitch down and away to get Betts with the soft ground ball to Scope.
Dylan Bundy, 2 innings, a run on 5 hits, 1 strikeout. Tolliver on for him. Pedroia's had a home run, his 7th, also a base hit. He is 2 for 4 in the game, 3 for 8 in the first 2 games of the series. 304 lifetime hitter here in this ballpark, coming in for Dustin Pedroia in that familiar 2 spot. 0-1 count. And that one will stretching back a little bit. Tolliver, 1 ball, 1 strike. For Pedroia, 269 off the lefties, 313 off the righties so far this year. One, that'll be inside. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Tail away pitch outside. So Pedroia will get it his way here on the 3 ball, 1 strike count from Tolliver. Major league debut in the Houston series on the 26th. Double-A Bowie this year for the left-hander. Down to 3rd. That will be foul. Pedroia trying to drive one. Full count, 3-2. Visit MASSonSports.com/CareFirst to vote for tonight's CareFirst Fearless Player of the Game. Live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. CareFirst, Blue Cross Blue Shield. 3-2. Reached, protected, and fouled it back.
Well located right there. Pedroia always looking to turn and burn, but he has that knack of protecting the outside corner. Good fastball that he fouls off there.
3-2 delivery on the way. I was looking at the scoreboard. I saw yesterday, don't see it very often. In the American League West, every team won. In the National League West, every team lost. That rarely ever happens, and almost had that in the American League East. These Red Sox had the win, but so did Toronto. Pitch is a strike called. Pedroia looking back, shaking his head.
Well, looked like a pretty good slider to me. And Pedroia just seeing the bend, gave up on it a little bit too early. Maybe a hair off that inside corner, but had to catch some of the plate.
Matt was trying to make sure it did by pulling it back in, but dropped it. That was for all you lip readers out there. Swing and a miss on the off-speed delivery by Bogaerts.
And the argument, he's arguing, how am I supposed to cover down and away and in off the plate?
Left-hander's pitch popped up in the air to right field. Rickard is there, and we'll put it away. So Tolliver comes on, retires the side in order. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Trumbo, Wieters, and Scope will be due up. Kimbrel ready to come in. 6-2 Red Sox.
Boston with too many home runs.
I know they're on fire right now. 4 home runs in this game. Mookie Betts with 3 of them by himself. Boston Red Sox have got a 4-run lead going into the bottom of the ninth. The Orioles have got to come up with something big to stay in this one.
We'll recap it here from Buck Showalter and Kevin Goswin. O's extra post game begins shortly, but let's go back upstairs now for the bottom half of the ninth inning and more from Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick.
Okay, Tom, Rick, thank you very much. And there's our score, 6-2 going in, and the Orioles will try and mount the rally here to keep this game going.
Yeah, Craig Kimbrel, Red Sox closer into the ball game. Big fastball, uses it 74% of the time. And then the power curve as well. 12 saves out of his 14 opportunities. And run average starting to come down a little bit after a slow start to the season. 3.10 there, but 33 punch outs. Just the 8 walks in 20 and a third innings of work. You're going to see a fastball 95 to 100 miles an hour. Holding opponents down to a 145 overall batting average.
So the Orioles will go against Kimbrel, who worked against Toronto on the 28th. He worked an inning and a third, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, a walk and 2 strikeouts. So John Farrell wants to get him a little bit of work here in this ball game, and hoping he will have a quick 9th inning for his closer. Against the Orioles this year, he's 0-1 with 1 save. He's appeared in 2 games, given up 3 runs on 1 hit this season against the Orioles.
Yeah, that hit was a home run by Chris Davis. 3-run shot in the 9th inning. Beat the Red Sox. Bomb to straightaway center.
So let's see what goes. Bottom of the 9th inning. 6-10-0 for the Red Sox. 2-7-1 for the Orioles. Koji Uehara worked an inning and gave up 1 hit. He had a couple of strikeouts. Bullpen has done the job. And a swing and a miss by Trumbo on a pitch up. Trumbo 0 for 3, couple of fly balls to right. He is popped out, looking for his first hit in this series. 0 for 6 for Mark.
Trumbo expanding the zone a little bit here the last couple days.
0-1 pitch on the way to him, and that'll be foul back. Ooh. Off the screen and ricocheted into the crowd. Oriole RBIs, Reimold with a double, Jones with a single. 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th. Otherwise, Red Sox pitching is controlled, and Chris had the long ball that went foul that could have made it a 2-run ball game. Kimbrel with the 0-2 delivery and got him to chase.
Well, you see the effects of a fastball that can touch 100 miles an hour. You start to swing a little too soon. guessing heater and the hard slider. Pools Trumbo, 3 pitches. And 1 out on the board.
That'll bring Matt Wieters to the plate. 0 for 3. One down, bottom of the 9th inning. Kimbrel will get the strike. Eduardo Rodriguez, the former Oriole. First start coming off the DL and rehab. Could pick up the win, be 1-0. Kevin Gausman would go 0-3, the Orioles starter. Another game in which, while he did give up 5, the Orioles have scored only 2. So even below the 3.3 run support that Kevin had coming in.
Well, Kevin kind of dug himself a little bit of a hole there the first couple innings. Some long balls. And the Orioles offense is a little inconsistent here recently.
Foul back and out of play by Wieters, who is 1 for 1 off Kimbrel. $17,664 the attendance. 17,664. Yanish up on top there watching. 1-2. And Wieters will lift another one foul. So Matt holds the count. Orioles loss here, and their month would be a 14-13 month. Red Sox win, they would be 18-10. Swing and a miss. Kimbrel again.
A little slider that stayed away. Down and away to Matt Wieters, reaching, trying to put it in play. Staying at the bottom of the zone there to Wieters. Last one, a little bit of movement. And he gets him well out in front there.
Orioles strikeouts in this game. Each pitcher has had 2. Rodriguez, Ross, Uehara, and Kimbrel. 2 down here. Jonathan Scope, couple of strikeouts, and he is grounded out. 2 down, nobody on. 9th inning, ground ball towards third. Shaw's got it, and the Red Sox have the win. So Kimbrel comes on and retires the side in order. The Red Sox take the first 2 games as they win this one by a score of 6-2. Rodriguez the winner. Gausman 0-3. Rodriguez 1-0, and Betts with a big 3-homer game. Tomorrow, game 3 of this 4-game set. Mike Wright will take the mound against Joe Kelly for Boston. Our coverage on MASN 6:30 with those extra, presented by Southwest, followed by game coverage at 7. This has been a MASN presentation. Tom and Rick standing by to take a look back at this game 2 of the series. For Mike Bordick and all of our crew, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks, everybody. Adieu.